bitch. All right.
Hello, gentlemen. I've got a rush game for you on Valparaiso. I always manage to say that incorrectly for some reason. Maybe I'm even pronouncing it incorrectly, but let's just say it's the map that's always full of bush monsters. That is not Laguna Presa. I think that's a more accurate description, but this game is not special. I mean, it's different, but it's such an odd game because, okay, the first half of the game, I got absolutely carried by my team. I was just dead weight. I was not doing anything. I was not arming objectives. I was just killmongering, and it's not really a characteristic of mine that I'm proud of. And you guys know that I never really try to go for kills, but for some reason I was just feeling kind of lazy in the start of this game, and I was not exactly shoving myself in there because I had tried a few times near the beginning of the round to try to just, you know, be a sloppy Joe. Do you guys know what I'm speaking about when I say sloppy Joe? And I'm not talking about that sandwich that you sometimes enjoy. I'm talking about just tossing your body towards an objective, trying to harm it. I'm talking about that kind of sloppy Joe. Like, you're the guy that just dives in there trying to get the charge set. But I was not really doing that near the beginning of this game. But believe it or not, I might sound a little bit odd, but I actually get the last 5 objectives of this map. Believe it or not, yeah, I got half of all the objectives. There's a nice triple kill. But I ended up getting the last 5 objectives, and this game was just so, I'm gonna describe it as asinine. And I know if there's one of my viewers that really likes it when I use the word asinine, but I think that's really the best way to describe it. These first 2 objectives were not too hard to attain and acquire and explode, but these last ones were a little bit more difficult just because I feel like the teamwork a little bit it started to fade. But here again, you'll see I'm not really going for the objective yet, but you will see later on I am the sloppy Joe of the team. And also something else that I wanted to touch on, and I didn't finish up my thought here, but I wanted to explain to you guys why I said this game was sort of asinine. And the reason that I called this game asinine was just because it was never really an orthodox game. For example, I was never using a kit that I'm used to, like, for an extended period of time. Sure, I'm using the AUG with the ACOG scope. You guys see later on, I pick up like an MG3, and then I'm switching my kit to Engineer and a PP2000. It was just an odd game, and I've never really had this experience before where I stayed alive for this long while I was arming objectives, but you'll see later on, I start to really get into this groove where I just start arming objectives like a madman, and I somehow lead my team to victory, and I do get the top score. I hate bragging about score and KD and all of that, but it's just one of the games where you can't miss, and for some reason, all those, you know, those one versus one encounters that you have with enemies, you just seem to win every single one, like close quarters, and I was very, very happy with this. Here I got a nice quick double spray on my way to objective B, and really this is the easiest way to get B or get these objectives in general, is skim around the water, because the visibility of the enemy towards you is greatly decreased because it's really only your head. But there is a downside to that. Although the visibility of your body is decreased, oftentimes you can't use your gun out here. So if you even get spotted by one guy, he's going to take you down pretty easily, unless you get to land, get to cover, or somehow whip your weapon out in some shallow water. And I do end up arming B here after I get this other Russian medic in the face. And really, sometimes, guys, there are just games where you just have to buckle down, become a sloppy Joe, and toss yourself at the objective, and that's what I did throughout this game. I hope I'm not sounding repetitive or redundant, saying sloppy Joe so many times in one single commentary, but I just want to say sometimes, guys, you just have to not worry about getting how many kills or how many deaths. And you guys know that I never go for KDR. I'm always the guy that's tossing myself at the objective, and I get that guy there, but you guys know that I'm all about the objective, and I've never really been about KD, and that's the way I want it to stay. And the best way to destroy B is just to hang around this set of block stairs here, and then we're going to move over to A, and I do get some kind of random AT-4 rocket here, but this is one point that I want to touch on. If you have a team that's really awful, just absolutely drastically awful, one countermeasure that you can take is you can hit up an engineer kit That sounds so Polish. You hit up your engineer kit. I apologize, guys. Okay. Hit up an engineer kit. Use the explosive upgrade and the explosive damage upgrade. Hopefully you guys know what I mean. That means the upgrade that doubles your amount of explosives and then increases the damage of your explosives. And you can just hit the target from afar. I didn't actually do it in this specific situation here, and then you can see I start mowing guys down because one of my teammates set the objective. But it's a really, really easy way to blow up the objective without setting charges from afar or from a distance. Is just hook up that AT4 with extra ammo rockets and extra explosive damage, and the AT4, coming soon, the AT ceiling. Oh, I'm kidding. But the AT4, it flies straight as an arrow if you keep, a little homing beacon right on the actual target. So you can hit it from a very, very long distance away, and it does a lot of damage because the AT4 has the highest damage of all the rockets. And if you put on top of that the higher explosive weapon damage as the specialization, you can really destroy a lot of targets from afar without destroying the objective, without destroying the objective by means of setting charges. You can just, it's really easy to take it down from afar. And here I saw this guy in the room. He's some kind of a ghost where he explodes through the wall and he disappears. I don't know what he was doing, but another point that you will see throughout this gameplay today, I know I'm already halfway through, but you will see very, very oftentimes that I do not go for guys. I will just let them run right by, because look at the situation and set your priorities every time you're around an objective. I got a little double spray here. I actually think I got a triple. Not quite. I don't think I do. I might, but I'm not worried about it. And I do get the objective exploded, which is the most important thing. And really, you'll see, I wanted to finish up my thought here. I will bypass so many enemies if I know that I can get to an objective instead. Now watch. This might be a little bit didactic for you, but listen in your left speaker right now. You're gonna hear an engineer shooting a silenced weapon. No, it's coming up here. Just listen to your left ear right now. You're going to hear an engineer shooting, and then hopefully you can hear in your right ear. There's a medic just over to my right, so I just ran by at least 2 to 3 guys to get to the objective. And don't kill someone if you really don't have to. Like, if you're not spotted by an enemy or he's not drastically in your way of arming an objective, you don't have to kill him. See, I'll kill this guy, and watch this. Watch this guy get his knees broken. Watch. Boom! Oh, that by far best part entire video. Oh my goodness. You would not believe how awful I felt after I did that. I was like, okay, I ran into ammo with my PP2000, and I decided to whip out my AT4 and break these guys' kneecaps. Okay, I also got a double spray here, but I even noticed that the PP2000 is still quite effective without magnum ammo, and as I told you guys earlier, I was using the class that basically enables me to destroy objectives from afar, although I really didn't end up using it that much. I didn't use the AT4 to destroy objectives from afar because I noticed I could really sneak around, and as you can see I only have 22 shots left with the PP2000, so I just said, hey, why don't I just pick up the MG3 and roll with that? And as you guys saw earlier, I picked up the MG3 at an earlier point, and for some reason, I don't know what it was, I just kept killing the same guy and picking up his gun. I don't know if that guy was awful or really aggressive. I don't know what it was, but I just kept picking up his gun for some reason. And as you guys can see, I'm quite awful. I am extremely inaccurate with this thing, and it's just a spray and pray. And you guys will see the epitome of a spray and pray coming up here after I set the objective B. It is the hallmark. It is the stereotypical spray and pray. I am waving my rifle back and forth, and I somehow get a multi-kill. It's quite awful. I don't know how many kills it is, but whether it's a double or a triple. But I'm sorry for emphasizing that so much today. I mean, I usually don't get that many multi-kills where I get doubles and triples, so I guess it's just my day to say how many doubles and triples I get. And I know that sounds awful, and it sounds like I'm emphasizing kills over the objective, but that's really not true. You guys know I'm all about the objective, but Just brace yourself here. I was freaking out here because I was behind enemy lines with no cover at all. There was nobody else with me, and then watch this, just waving back and forth. I get a double kill. That's so goofy. It's so incredibly goofy. There is not even a glimpse of accuracy involved. Now watch this part here. Okay, I'm using the awful pistol, also known as the MP412X. Watch. I run out of ammo. He gets sniped in the head. I did not knife him. He got sniped. You might want to rewind that and check that out again. But that is the one time where I value snipers, is when you're about to die at a critical moment and then they somehow pull off a random headshot on a guy that you barely damaged. That is... Thank you, sniper, who saved my ass. It's a generous deed. And then I end up hooking all the way around without dying. And I'm thinking the exact same thing in game that you're thinking right now. How has he not died yet? And I was on the same thought pattern as you. Now I'm gonna hook all the way around right, because I know objective A is straight on my left. It's right. I don't want to say it's right on your left. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I always hate it when people give directions like that. And then you're gonna be it's gonna be right on your left. Okay, but you guys know that I had the option. I was right beside objective B, and I could have ran straight over to A, but I know, and I knew at the time, that I would have just got mowed down. So I decided to hook all the way around A, or all the way around the perimeter of their spawn, all the way over to A, and it works quite well. And here you're gonna see something that I emphasized earlier. I killed that one guy just because he seemed like he was shooting at my immediate squad mates, but then really I just see the two guys ahead of me. I just bypass them. I don't even bother shooting them. These two guys coming up here, I had to shoot because I knew they were going to eliminate me if I didn't shoot them. So here you go. He spawns out of his ass. I spray him, and then I end up getting the sniper who's oblivious, because he'd never think that some random guy would sneak all the way around their spawn. And then, oh, this is just failure. Think about the magnitude of this, though. I ran all the way through those treacherous hills, got objective B, hooked all the way around, killed a few guys, and then right at objective A, I get stopped. Okay, think of this as attempt 1, guys. Alright, here's attempt 1. I arm the objective. Actually, the other guy arms the objective. I like half-ass, like 3/4 of the way arm it, but that sniper was oblivious in the corner. I don't know how the hell he didn't notice us coming up the stairs, but think of this as attempt 1, or Sloppy Joe attempt 1. Okay. Obviously I die. Here comes attempt 2. Okay, I'm gonna jump over the boulders. I didn't know that they actually disarmed the objective yet, so I decided to throw a desperate grenade to try to kill the guy who's defusing it, but they already got it defused. Okay, here's try 3 of the Sloppy Joe, the Adventures of Sloppy Joe. Alright. And I get sniped by a guy that's not even going to move towards the objective trying to defuse it. He's just going to sit back and shoot at it. And here's number 4. I believe I do eventually get it on this one. Okay, I finally arm it. Attempt number 4. And now you guys know what I'm talking about. Sloppy Joe, okay? I'm slopping myself at the objective, trying to get it. And I do believe I die here just because of some spray and pray medic, but I was spraying and praying earlier on, so I don't have any kind of room to argue. And this sniper's recognized as a great spawn point. He's just wedged himself between a rock and a cement block, and it's like the ultimate spawn point for our squad. And I throw one more nade just to make sure nobody's going to defuse that objective, and we do eventually get it. So that was me getting the final 5 objectives on Valparaiso. That is quite the deed. And I don't know how I didn't die more than I did. And for all you guys that really enjoy the stats portion, that'll be coming up here after my PS3 loads. Okay, I got a ton of pins. Combat score 5250. I'm quite satisfied. And if you want to talk about KDR, there's 48 and 14. And it's irrelevant because I got the last 5 objectives. I sound so pretentious, and I got the last 5 objectives. Everybody look at me, and I don't mean to come off like that, but other than that, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.